Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What is it yet? Was it Monday now, I think? Is it Monday or Tuesday? I think it's Monday, right? Yeah, Monday. Happy Monday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review, and Happy New Year to you all. All the days are like blurring together. It's hard to figure out what day it actually is nowadays. I don't know. But yeah, Happy New Year to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today we're going to be taking a look at another beer from probably one of my favorite breweries of all time. You guys have seen me do countless of reviews for this brewery, but I'm always really a big fan of what they do. We got one here from Drekker Brewing Company called the Evil Natured Robots Double IPA, coming in at an 8% ABV. And yeah, I'm pretty damn excited to give this one a try, just because Drekker likes to play around with a lot of experimental things when it comes to hops they use and all kinds of other stuff. They love playing around with new things, and it's really, really cool to see what they do over there. But they use actually an experimental hops in this one called the NZH107, which it's definitely still in a lot of works of trying to. It was crafted in the lab and all that kind of stuff. So what they used was the NZH107 and Mosaic hops in this one, which is really, really cool. NZH107 is a really, really interesting experimental hops that was derived in New Zealand and all that kind of stuff, bringing off really good citrus and tropical flavors, and of course aromas as well. So I'm really curious to see what that's going to do with this one. I love double IPAs. I love what Drekker does over there, so I'm pretty damn excited to give this thing a try. So what I'm expecting this one to be, since they're saying it's probably packed full of like citrusy and tropical flavors, I'm expecting this to be a nice, juicy, hazy IPA. I believe there was a lot of oats adding this one as well, so you can kind of know there's going to be a really, really soft mouthfeel to it that really helps with that kind of thing on there. If you're trying to make a hazy IPA, of course, you're either going to use flaked wheat or flaked oat in there as well, just to kind of help with that juicy kind of mouthfeel. But yeah, plus it adds like a little bit of a malty sweetness in there. That's the only thing that I recommend when it comes to using either wheat or oats and everything. You got to be careful because that stuff clumps up when you're working with the mash. So always got to be aware if you're going to be brewing with something that's going to have a lot of flaked wheat or flaked oat in there, then you're going to just have to make sure that there's no clumping happen before you get to your boil, just because that's a very important thing when it comes to extracting the sugars and all that kind of stuff from the grain itself. So yeah, let's see what this thing's all about. I'm going to crack this guy open, see what we got here. Let's see what they show on their malt bill for this guy. It includes pale malt, pale 2 row, of course oats, and then carafoma, which is interesting. And then of course they got their house IPA yeast that they use. Pretty much it's a yeast that's made specifically for Drekker, and of course the hops I already mentioned already is Mosaic and NZH107. So expecting this to be loaded with tropical fruit and citrus flavors, and then of course having a nice, really soft mouthfeel to it. Expecting this guy to be pretty juicy as well, but I'm also expecting this to be relatively hazy as well. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose. Oh yeah, definitely getting a lot of citrus coming through. Definitely more on the little bit of grapefruitiness, getting some tropical fruit notes in there, kind of like a pineapple-y kind of mango kind of note. Yeah, that smells absolutely delicious, especially since it's kind of like the style of IPA that I know and love. So I'll be drinking this out of my Fizz Brewing Company landed drinking glass. And let's pour this thing, see what it's all about. I'm going to try to get a decent head with this one just so I can see what kind of aromas this thing gives out. So let's see if we can get a head on this guy. Looks like we're going to get a pretty decent one. Oh yeah, nice and hazy. Loving the color to this beer. But look at that. Nice hazy color to it. Nice head. Oh yeah, bringing off loads and loads of citrus. Definitely getting tropical fruit. Definitely this is gonna be a most likely a very, very nice juice bomb, just because look at that. I love the color when a hazy IPA comes out like that. Definitely something that I know I'm most likely gonna enjoy. Yeah, that smells absolutely fantastic. So let's give this guy a try and see what it's all about. So cheers everybody. Happy Monday. Oh yeah. Definitely getting a nice sweetness from there, like a fruitier kind of sweetness coming through. Definitely still brings in a little bit of like grassy notes, and I think of a lot of hints of like lemongrass kind of notes in there as well. But definitely lets you know that it's an IPA with there's still a little bit of significant bitterness. Definitely really juicy up front. Overall, yeah, this is delicious. Absolutely delicious. Definitely a nice juice bomb for sure. which I haven't had in a minute. So let me see. Well, I'm able to pour the rest of the can in there, which is good. Let's see. I almost got it where it's a little bit safe, but whatever, we're good. Yeah, mouth feels great. You get a little bit of booziness, which is a little bit surprising from an 8%, but it's nothing too crazy. Overall, yeah, flavors are really nice on this one, definitely. So let's see what we got here. Definitely, the more I take a sip, there's definitely a lingering dryness and also like a bitterness that kind of comes off. So it makes me think that with this one, even though it's a nice, juicy, hazy IPA, I think there most likely was either a first wort hop or maybe a decent amount of hops added during the beginning of the boil, just because in the beginning of the boil is where you're going to try to dial in your bitterness level. That's where you want to get that dialed in and just make sure it's there, because of course the longer you boil a beer, the more it's going to kind of die. So like the longer boil, the more bitterness is going to kind of tone off and just kind of dissipate over time. So I could probably say this was around like a 60 to 90 minute boil, I would say. But overall, great tropical fruit, a little bit of stone fruity kind of flavors coming through now. That's kind of lingering a little bit. Definitely getting citrus and tropical fruit in there, which I think is letting me know that the NZH 107 is definitely talking a lot with this one. So I'm assuming that they had a significant amount of the NZH 107. I'm not sure. They could have, when it comes to getting aromas too, I'm most likely assuming that they dry hopped it with both, just because when it comes to Mosaic is a great dry hopping hop. And of course, when you're trying to get a little bit more, some more aromas from that NZH 107, that is experimental hops, of course, that you want to kind of bring forth some of those more special kind of notes that hops brings off. Of course, doing it through the dry hopping process is a great way to do so. But let's see what they show as a description for this guy on Untappd. So, of course, if you want to see this beer on Untappd, see if you could possibly get it near you, I have the link to the Untappd page for this beer down in the description below, so you can take a look at it, see if it's any verified venues near you or anything like that where you possibly could pick it up, because I know there's people picking it up at like liquor stores or bottle shops right now as well. That's what I've seen with the check-ins. But for a description, this one says, a brand new double IPA brewed with a whole pile of oats and hopped with NZH 107 and Mosaic. NZH 107 is a new experimental blend of New Zealand hops with some huge citrus and tropical fruit flavors and aroma. This IPA is incredibly unique and exudes softness on every level. It has a particularly genuine mouthfeel that harkens notes of fuzzy peaches, guava, lychee, and lime. So, yeah, definitely getting that citrusiness, of course. But to me, it was more of like a lemongrassy kind of, because you still got the the grassiness, but it was you definitely had that little bit of citrusy, like almost either lemon or lime kind of notes. So seeing that lemon or lime kind of flavor in there, definitely. But of course, with tropical fruit, that can be some of the guava, and then the stone fruit part can be the fuzzy peach kind of element that they're adding to it. But yeah, the description of this one on Untappd is pretty much right on pace for what it actually tastes like. And of course, like I stated before, 8% would not consider this sessionable. So, but before we kind of look at what other people are rating this one and the average rating on this guy, so let's see what the similar beers list for this guy is. So there's definitely some here that's definitely catching my attention. This is a pretty decent similar beers list for this one. So we got one here called the Cumulus Juice from Rheingeist Brewery, which Rheingeist is located in Cincinnati, Ohio. So if you're around the Cincinnati area, the Cumulus Juice might be something that you may get to have a similar experience. What else do we got here? We got one here from Aslan Beer Co., which is the Double Orange Starfish, which is the IPA double dry hop with Citra and Galaxy. I think that could give some pretty nice notes. Of course, color is going to be a little bit different. That's going to have more of a golden kind of color, because most likely they use different grain and everything like that. But Aslan Beer Company is located in Alexandria, Virginia. And let's see what else we got here. We got one here from Barrier Brewing Company called the Blue Shell. Let's see what this one's all about. So this one's a triple IPA. So yeah, I think with this one might be similar when it comes to pungent, like strongness of the hoppiness, and then of course having that juiciness. Of course, Barrier actually collaborated with Bottle Logic to come out with this one. So this one's an 8%, but the Blue Shell is a 10%. So, but I think flavors of that one can still be pretty similar. You just might get a little bit more of a booziness with that one. Let's see. We got one here called Symphonic Chronic from Deschutes Brewery, which Deschutes is definitely well known, and they're located in Bend, Oregon. Deschutes makes some really fantastic beers, and the Symphonic Chronic actually sounds pretty damn fantastic, even though it's more of an American style of IPA where it's letting the maltiness kind of come forward a little bit more and bringing off a little bit more of those drier notes and a little bit more of those vegetal kind of herbal kind of flavors that the hops bring off. And then we got one here from one of my favorite breweries of all time, of course, Anchorage Brewing Company, with the I'm So Lost, which is an 8.4% double haze New England hazy IPA that's brewed with Citra Incognita, which I wonder what that is. That actually sounds pretty interesting. So, but 8.4%. So if I had to choose beers that would most likely be similar to this one, just by going by what I would think, even though it's most likely to be a little bit stronger when it comes to booziness, like I mentioned before, I think this Blue Shell from Barrier Brewing Company is most likely going to be something that's really similar to this one. Of course, Citra, Mosaic, you got the Mosaic in there, and then they added a touch of Saboro in there. But it definitely brings off fruitiness, and it just looks like it's definitely another nice juice bomb that Barrier and Bottle Logic came out with. So I'm probably going to choose this this Blue Shell from Barrier and Bottle Logic that is most similar. But of course, there's all kinds of other IPAs that most likely are similar to this one. Let's look at my beer history, and of course, there's probably some other ones I can list off here. So let's see. We're going to look under the category IPA Imperial Double. So IPA Imperial Double. And let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Keyboard Warrior from Trademark could be similar. Of course, you got a couple other ones here from Anchorage with the Do Us Part and the Lilith Brethren. Let's see what else here. The Eject Mindscape from New Image. Let's see. Vapor Rings from Other Half. Let's see. What can other be something that's similar to this one? I could even say this non-stop dry hopped IPA from Black Stack with Black Stack and Untitled Art could be something that's around that same category. The green plastic watering can from Single Cut. So and for something that's more mainstream, I could definitely see the Goose Island Tropical Beer Hugs to be something similar to this one as well. Of course, it could be stronger, but you're still going to get that kind of fruitiness as well. So if you're somebody who likes the Tropical Beer Hugs, there's a good chance that you might like this one. And I know the Tropical Beer Hugs is definitely something that is a little bit more popular and all that kind of stuff. Well, look, when it comes to lemongrass kind of in beer and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of helps me like bring in with the hoppy notes, because you get sometimes when you get that note of vegetal and citrus, in my head it automatically makes me think of lemongrass. So that's where it gives me that kind of lemongrassy kind of note, because you get a little bit of vegetal note to it, but you still get a very, very strong pungent citrusy flavor in there as well. So whenever I think of those two characteristics when it comes to flavor, I automatically think of the flavor of lemongrass. So, but going back to Untapped and everything like that, so like I stated before, it's an 8% ABV, which is already, you guys know by now that I would consider this something that isn't sessionable. Definitely you're going to be feeling after one of these for sure. And by now you guys know that my sessionability rating kind of cuts off around 7.5, so it's like a 0.5% higher. But it's definitely going to be noticeable. And with over 7,392 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.17 out of 5, which is pretty damn fantastic. And let's see if there's anybody on my friends list who checked this one in. Okay, let's look here. We actually got a few people on my friends list, so let's look here. So there's somebody on my friends list who purchased it at the Binny's Beverage Depot, which is a well-known liquor store chain here in the northwest suburbs, or just the Midwest in general. He gave it a 4 out of 5, and let's see. We got my dad who checked this one in, which is how we get when we got Tavor. That's how we got ours. He gave it a 3.75 out of 5, which is surprising. A 3.75 from Drekker. He usually likes a lot of stuff from Drekker, but let's see what else we got. Then we got somebody else on my friends list who gave this 4.25 out of 5, saying another good one from Drekker out of Fargo. So yeah, they're some pretty damn good ratings out, these guys so far. But let's look at the global ratings, see what other people had to say. So let's see here. This person checked it in 20 hours ago. So almost exactly around this time, maybe a little earlier in the day, maybe around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. He gave it a 4.5 out of 5. This person gave it a full 5 out of 5, another a 4.75. Let's see. This person gave it a 3.25. We got a 3.5. We got a 2.75. 3.5 purchased at the Simon's Beverage, which is a liquor store / wine shop in Lakewood, Ohio. Let's see. We got another 4. Another 4. Let's see. We got a 3. Whoa, what the hell? This person gave it a 4.25, saying big beer, onion and garlic, hops, citrus, bitter up front. What? Garlic and... I'm not even going to ask what he was thinking when he wrote that. What the hell? Hold on a second. There's a... So this person gave it a 4.25, and there's one that I'm going to wrist off here that's interesting. So this guy gave it a 1 out of 5, saying tastes like a hot dog, so I cannot drink it if I feel like I got a bad batch. Yeah, that's a possibility that he might have gotten a bad batch of it. I don't know why it would taste like a hot dog. What the hell? I don't know, that just makes me think it's... I don't know, it's from DD now. Oh. But yeah, having a beer that tastes like a hot dog, that most likely would be something that went wrong with that batch. I don't know, if something is tasting like a hot dog, that's just not good when it comes to tasting beer. It kind of makes me gag in my mouth a little bit just thinking about it. Ooh. But yeah, overall ratings are pretty good on this one. Definitely some on the lower end of things. Maybe the last batch they did was not as good. I don't know, but what I'm drinking right now is pretty damn fantastic. So let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here at our end with this guy. And of course, first thing we like to look at here is can art. And of course, Drekker really never disappoints when what they do with their can art. Definitely, they use a lot of colors, a lot of detail, and everything like that. And you can just see it perfectly with this one. So much detail. You got the robot, and then you kind of got some other stuff going on in the background. You got a smiley face, and it's just, how can this be something that doesn't catch your attention? Just because all the colors, all like the neon colors and everything like that. Definitely have. I like the robot in there. I like the font that they used, almost making it seem like it was typed on a computer. So that's a really nice touch and everything like that. Actually, the typing with like the evil natured part and the double IPA part almost reminds me of something you'd see on a calculator, which I think is really, really destroying. And then you got, of course, some detail they put on the side, which is saying destroy multiple times. And yeah, they did not disappoint whatsoever when it comes to all the detail that they put on this can art. Really, really fantastic. Love the colors. Love just everything about it. Of course, I always love when they add like what kind of malts, what kind of hops, and what kind of yeast they use. It's always a really nice touch, letting people know what is in their beer. I think is a really, really cool thing to do. So yeah, really nothing I can fault about this can art. It's well branded. Definitely something that would catch my attention at a liquor store or bottle shop. It would probably be to the point where I would stop what I'm doing just to look at this one, just because that can art is so like in your face and just I need to see it. So overall, full 5 out of 5 for can art for me. I absolutely love this one. Yeah, there's definitely a decent amount of beers with lemongrass in there, Ian. So who knows? You might be able to find something with it. But yeah, let's see what else we got here. If I got this beer in a flight over at Drekker Brewing Company, would I get another one? Absolutely. Love the citrus notes. Love that kind of a little bit of tropical fruit, a little bit of stone fruit. Love the great mouthfeel as well. Any lemongrass stouts? Yeah, I don't know how I think citrus and stouts would work. Who knows? If you find one, Face Meat, let me know, because that'd be an interesting find. But yeah, great flavors going with this one. Great mouthfeel, and overall just a really, really fantastic beer. Another one well done from Drekker Brewing Company, so I would definitely get another one of these if I had in a flight for sure. But other than that, let's see here. What is my final rating on this guy going to be? Ian just said straight up no. You know what? I'm going to give this a very, very solid 8.25 out of 10. Really, really delicious. If you have the opportunity to get your hands on this one, of course, I saw a couple places in Ohio that maybe had it on their shelves right now. So if you're in Ohio, you might be able to find it. Or you just kind of look around near you. I know Drekker has some pretty good availability when it comes to distribution. So you can find it either in the Midwest, East Coast, or the West Coast, or probably even down south as well, some places. So you just got to keep an eye out. Of course, Drekker has kind of made hot dog stout. Is that instead of just using regular water, you have to use hot dog water if you're making a hot dog stout? I feel like that would be insanely salty and just gross. Face Me, it's going to come out with the hot dog stout. First one to do it. I can just see that happening. But other than that, yeah, 8.25 is where I'm going to leave with this one. Absolutely fantastic. Like I said, if you have the opportunity to get this one, if it comes up anywhere near you where you can purchase it, I definitely would recommend it. Or you might just want to wait until the next time it comes back in rotation when it comes to them brewing it again. Who knows? But overall, yeah, another delicious beer from Drekker. So big shout outs to them. Big shout outs to them just doing some really fantastic things over there. Of course, I think I have some other Drekker beers downstairs somewhere, either in the garage or in the fridge already, because the garage practically has a fridge right now just because it's so cold. So might have some more Drekkers coming in the future, so keep an eye out for that. Of course, let's see what else we got here. I think that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live to another review. I'm going to have a review planned for you guys for tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. And of course, tomorrow is going to be doing my Patreon drawing for the giveaway, so keep an eye out for that. If you're a patron, make sure to tune in for your chance to see if you won any. And a 4-pack for me for our December 4-pack. Of course, I'm already in the works of setting up the next 4-pack for January. And of course, I'm going to be shipping 2 packages out because I got to ship out November still. Just been crazy with the holidays and all that kind of stuff like that. So going to be shipping November and December's box at once. So Kevin K, you're going to be getting yours, and then the lucky winner for winning December's box is going to be chosen tomorrow as well. But other than that, of course, if you want to see what I'm be reviewing, and of course be the first person to see what is going to be reviewed that day, of course, go over to my Instagram. That's where you'll see that the posts come up and everything like that. And then, of course, if you want to shoot me a friend request on Untapped as well, you guys are going to be talking about Untapped all the time. It's a fantastic platform. You check in beers, you get badges. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers because that's pretty much what it is. And if you haven't shot me a friend request yet, link to my profile is down in the description below. I would love to see what you guys are drinking. So just add me on there. If you haven't done it yet, you're making a mistake. Just because I just want to see what all my friends are drinking. So, but of course, last but not least, I always recommend the best place to help support me and help support this channel is to head over to my Patreon, of course. I do monthly 4-pack giveaways over there, and then I'll be planning some other stuff as well when it comes to giveaways. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, when things start getting moving down the road with more people, kind of more traffic over there, I can start working on other things when it comes to possibly merch, glassware, coasters, koozies, helmet for face meat. And then just, yeah, it would help me out greatly because it helps me get more beer in my hands, which means helping me get more beer out to you guys as well. So if you want to help support me and help support this channel, the Patreon is be the best way to do so. But other than that, let's see. I think that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thank you everybody who's going to be watching the replay as well. You guys are fantastic. And I'm going to end this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.